Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Quick Break Games, and today we have another news update for TT Games' next title, LEGO Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight. Today's video is going to focus on the recent news of Netflix potentially buying Warner Brothers. We're going to talk about the general implications of what this might mean for TT Games and the future of their LEGO games. Towards the end, we'll also talk about some new screenshots the official LEGO DC Game Instagram account posted, which give us a new look at some of the game's villains. Now let's get into it. So back in October of this year, Warner Brothers put themselves up for sale. There was a lot of talk of Paramount potentially buying them. Netflix and even Saudi Arabia was one of the contenders, but on December 5th, it was confirmed that they have entered an agreement for Netflix to acquire Warner Brothers for roughly $82 billion. Wow. I've linked the official press release from Netflix in the description below, but in that, the gaming division of Warner Brothers, WB Games, is not mentioned at all. So what's going on with that? Well, it seems other people were wondering the same thing because we have an article on GameDeveloper.com from Chris Kerr that's titled, "Yes, Netflix is acquiring Warner Brothers games." A Warner Brothers spokesperson has confirmed the video game division will be acquired by Netflix alongside its wider streaming and television business. So we're going to read a bit of this article, but if you want to read the full thing, I've linked it in the description below. It says Netflix is acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of HBO and Warner Brothers Games, in a cash and stock transaction worth $82.7 billion. It's a notable move for the entertainment industry that will make Netflix the owner of major film and television franchises such as Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, White Lotus, The Sopranos, and the wider DC universe. Notably, a Warner Brothers Discovery spokesperson has confirmed that Warner Brothers Games is included in the transaction. And then Netflix's co-CEO, Greg Peters, then went on to say, by adding the deep film and TV libraries and HBO HBO Max programming, Netflix members will have even more high-quality titles from which to choose. This allows Netflix to optimize its plans for consumers, enhancing viewing options and expanding access to content, reads an announcement. A stronger entertainment industry, this acquisition will enhance Netflix's studio capabilities, allowing the company to significantly expand U.S. production capacity and continue to grow investment in original content over the long term, which will create jobs and strengthen the entertainment industry. For those operating within the game industry, however, there is an elephant in the room. Warner Brothers Games, and indeed any mention of the word games outside of name drops for Squid Game and Game of Thrones, was largely absent from the announcements and SEC filings issued by both companies. Warner Brothers Games was briefly referenced during a conference call held this morning when the Mortal Kombat logo was shown on a business overview slide to highlight Warner Brothers' wider game and consumer product exploits, but that blink and you'll miss it moment was largely it. Okay, so it is interesting how they really aren't talking about the games side of Warner Brothers at all with this acquisition. I guess that makes sense considering Netflix is a movie and TV show streaming company, and WB has been in a bit of a rough patch these past few years with flops like Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but still, WB Games is a huge part of Warner Brothers, so I do find it a little bit odd that they're not really acknowledging it, but let's continue. In a brief call with Game Developer, a Warner Brothers Discovery spokesperson confirmed the recently restructured video game division, which includes studios such as Mortal Kombat creator NetherRealm, Batman Arkham developer Rocksteady, and LEGO custodian TT Games will be joining Netflix. To what end remains to be seen. And then at the end of the article it says the transaction is expected to close in 12 to 18 months and remains subject to regulatory approval. Alright, so I do find it kind of funny how they call TT Games a LEGO custodian. It's just kind of weird wording, but there you have it. TT Games is confirmed to be owned by Netflix if this deal goes through. I say if because they are going to get grilled by the government because they want to make sure there isn't going to be a monopoly or anything like that, so there is a chance that this thing could get rejected. If you remember when Microsoft bought Activision, there was a time when many people thought it might not go through. It ended up going through in the end, but stuff like this isn't always guaranteed. Now, assuming this does happen, what does this mean for TT Games and the future of LEGO games? There's unfortunately probably going to be a lot of layoffs. This always happens with acquisitions as there's often redundant roles in each company, so they let people go. In terms of LEGO games though, LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is 100% safe. The game is releasing in the next 12 months, which is before this acquisition will go through. And I think the game is just way too far into development for anything to get canceled at this point. But after this new LEGO Batman, it is a little bit unclear. Does Netflix even care about gaming? It doesn't seem like it based on how they've avoided talking about it in their press release, so I wonder if they could potentially sell off WB Games. I don't know. If they do stick around though, this would give TT Games access to all of Netflix's properties. One that I see a lot of people talking about is a potential LEGO Stranger Things game. I think that could be cool, but I don't know, I don't really see it happening. I think the franchise is just a bit too mature for a family-friendly LEGO game. And also, by the time this deal goes through and TT Games got around to developing it, Stranger Things would probably be at least 6 years old or more. Is the show really going to be relevant by then? I'm not sure. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, but hopefully everyone at TT Games is able to stay there and continue making LEGO games for us to enjoy. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears and talk about some recent images posted by the official LEGO DC Game Instagram account. This post says, "Newsflash, Pamela Isley is putting down roots. Harvey Dent is flipping expectations, and Oswald Cobblepot is marching into Gotham's good graces. Get the scoop in the Gotham Globe." Yeah, I really love these Gotham Globe posts. As I've said before in previous videos, the marketing for this game is just night and day compared to Skywalker Sagas. But anyways, we have this image of Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, and he appears to be running for mayor in this game. It says, "Despite allegations of flocking with the Falcone crime family, Oswald Cobblepot is making a splash by waddling his way into the mayoral race." So this is based on when he ran for mayor in the Adam West 1960s Batman show, so they're really taking things from not only the movies, but the 1960s show, the comics, and everything else. Next, we have this look at Harvey Dent, who of course later becomes the villain Two-Face. I could be wrong, but I think this might be the first real look at him in the game. I know we have seen some Two-Face posters around the city, but this is a really good look at Harvey Dent. It says, "The face of justice, District Attorney Harvey Dent is tough on crime, but will he save face?" I see what they did there when it comes to supporting Gotham City's newest bat-themed vigilante. Man, it's going to be so cool to see how Harvey Dent transforms into Two-Face at some point during the story. It might be heavily based on the Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face from Batman Forever, but we'll have to see on that. Lastly, on this post, we have a look at yet another villain. This one says, "Leave it to Pamela." Dr. Pamela Isley's grassroots, again, I see what they did there, movement for a greener Gotham City is taking root as the brilliant botanist seeds her ideals amongst the wealthy elite. I'm loving all these villain-themed puns, but yeah, this definitely looks like it's based on the 1997 Uma Thurman Poison Ivy from Batman and Robin, so perhaps we'll see that same transformation into Poison Ivy adapted here. But man, this game is going to have a ton of villains. So maybe this game's going to be similar to the original LEGO Batman, where they make nearly every level based around a different villain. I think that would be cool to see. So that's everything on their post from December 5th. Now there was another post back on November 20th that I haven't talked about yet on the channel. This is another Gotham Globe post, and it says, "What's in this billionaire's toy box? The Gotham Globe investigates what's really happening behind the scenes of Wayne Enterprises." So we have this image of Wayne Tower, and then also a second image with a really good shot of Bruce Wayne, which appears to be based on the Christian Bale Bruce Wayne. It says, "Weapons, UFOs, or rich guy recreation. A Wayne Enterprises whistleblower claims that shenanigans are afoot. Reports of strange vehicles, whirling boomerangs, and gallons of black paint have led to claims ranging from jet-powered rideshare service to aliens taking over the company. But Bruce Wayne insists he's just a billionaire who likes spelunking." So that's a reference to what Bruce says to Lucius Fox in Batman Begins, when Lucius is sort of questioning why Bruce is ordering all sorts of equipment when he's gearing up to become Batman for the first time. But alright, that's pretty much everything for today's LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight news update. Let me know what you think of Netflix attempting to purchase Warner Brothers. Do you think it'll actually go through? Will TT Games come out of this okay? I'm not really a fan of this acquisition happening, but we're just going to have to wait and see how all this plays out over the next few years. Also, let me know your thoughts on the latest Gotham Globe post with those new images of some of the villains in the game. Be sure to like this video if you learned something new, dislike it if not, and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.